Well, good morning. I want to come to you with the discussion around learning from the obvious. And why is learning from the obvious important? Because learning from the obvious means that your results are telling you how you're living, why you're living, and what you're living for. When you look at the outline of our life and how we're going through life, our attitude, behaviors, and the actions that we take contribute to learning from the obvious. And what we're finding today is that a lot of people are finding the world challenging because they're allowing the worldview to impact who they are and to have the world determine their strengths, their abilities, their station in life. When in actuality, people have a hard time grasping it because we all learn differently. We all have different strengths and talents, but we are all not able to leverage those strengths and talents because the world is conditioning us and forcing people by choice to do and believe and act in a certain way. And once that type of mentality kicks in, we have people basically deflecting those ways of thinking on themselves through drugs and alcohol or through associates that they are around that don't necessarily have a type of ambition or drive, and they self-express their pain or their frustration on their bodies or in their attitude or in their perceptions. And we hence find people becoming mentally challenged in a way that is based on the pressures of life. It's like a pop can. If I shake it up and I ask you to open it, what's going to happen? It's going to explode. We are creating people to explode through society's conditioning. Looking at just last night, I was doing some research on school tuitions in Canada, and it's been stated that the tuition has gone up almost 3.2% increase for schools in Canada. And it varies from province to province and obviously city to city. When looking at the dynamics of tuition just going up and the cost of living going up, and yet people are losing jobs and people are finding it hard to actually maintain what they want, that's a problem. So society is saying, yes, go to school, get an education, get a job, settle down, buy a house, and do all these great things. But in actuality, some of us can't go through that same process to get to the result that society wants us to believe is the end result of what they call success. And until we get or take control of our thoughts and our mind, the world's going to be pressuring us to be something that we're not and to do something that we don't want to do because they're forcing us to do it. It's time for us to take control by learning from the obvious. Your obvious results are going to tell you how you're living, why you're living, and what we can do about it to improve how we live. And when you look at learning from your obvious results, those things don't lie. They are the truth. They will not lie to you. They will not put you in a position where you have to think, I wonder what if. There is no what if when it comes to your obvious results. They're there. It's what it is. Now, what are we going to do about it? So learning from the obvious is important. Learning from the obvious means that we do a self-reflection of where we are, what we've come from. Are we maintaining certain behaviors that aren't helping us or certain attitudes that are hurting us? And if we can change it, what are we going to do to change it? How can we improve ourselves? Is it putting ourselves in a new position of going to school part-time? Is it looking at starting your business? Is it looking at stepping out on faith and doing maybe an inspirational video? Is it having the courage to be able to do something that somebody said you can't do? Learning from the obvious means that your results are a reflection of your actions, your attitude, and your behaviors. Looking at those three categories or those three factors, and in addition to learning from the obvious, you cannot argue with it. It is evidence that you are in a position to be better or to be bitter. However you see fit, look at the obvious. Have a great day.